Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Morning Coffee's James. I'm James, and this is my coffee show where I talk to you, and I do what I please. And by the way, in memory of John Warwick, is it? On, let me look up the name real quick because I'm honestly I want to apologize for my silliness here and my absolute lack of information on his name. So, to the voice actor of Dale Gribble, long live Dale Gribble. I'm looking up on DeviantArt some of the fan art, and it is some of the most bizarre and funny thing, and a lot of hentai too. Oh god, it's awful. It's awful. It's like, oh no, god damn it, DeviantArt. Johnny Hardwick. Okay, speaking of Johnny Hardwick, God rest in peace. Today I want to talk to you about, and I'm surprised nobody's done fan art of him passing. Well, maybe the character of Dale hasn't passed, and the character of I know the actor has passed, but the John Michael Hardwick. Okay, I want to talk. Okay, but speaking about entertainment, I want to talk to you about entertainment in general. I want to talk about AI. I want to talk about the blackpilling in art and entertainment. Now, recently I've been watching and viewing a lot of these creatives out there talking about the. Yeah, I got a weird ass balding pattern going on here. Being a little bit of a narcissist. I want to talk about. I gotta stop using the comb I'm using. I want to talk about the. Forgot it. Blackpilling in art and entertainment. Now, I know people out there are getting tired of just this infantile kind of nonsense of people's entertainment nowadays, where everything is based off a toy or some kind of franchise on some childish thing, and again, these adult children's movies. You know what I mean? Or the phenomenon of adult people liking Disney movies. Now, granted, I get a little annoyed a little bit by these people, and I understand where they're coming from. Yes, we need some kind of taxi driver. We need some kind of we need adults need entertainment too. You know what I mean? We don't need to be bogged down by this the man babies, or man children, or man boys, or whatever, women girls, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. I'm kind of in between with this, because on one end I'm like, yeah, we do need some like better adult entertainment. Not in that sense, but I mean like mature. Something mature. We need something mature. And there's been some things out there too, and honestly, I get a little annoyed from these people who claim about it. Well, I follow this one guy on Twitter, and he's talking about it, but he also draws a lot of nudes. Or Alan Moore, when he's talked about the infantile of stuck in a permanent childhood. Then again, to quote Razorfist, he needs to shut the fuck up when he worships snake gods and shit like that and believes in magic. Honestly, I'm kind of annoyed with it a little bit, because it's like, I'm kind of annoyed with people getting annoyed on each side of this argument. On one end, yes, I do believe that entertainment has kind of gone downhill, but I also believe that we need to start not giving up so easily with this. We can't give up too easily when it comes to our entertainment, our cultural phenomenal things. It's like, yes, people still think video games are for kids, even though there's been mature, and I'm not talking adult. There is a huge difference between adult and mature. Adult is basically, poop jokes and fart jokes and edgy jokes and swearing and, stuff like The Boys. You know what I mean? Like, it gets annoying after a while. You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that. Stuff that's just like raunchy. Oh my god, vomit and blood and period blood. It's like, enough's enough, guys. And then there's mature, which you can have some of the most outlandish, ridiculous storytelling ever, but if your subject is mature and you treat your audience with maturity, you can tell a decent story. I don't care if it's something as grounded as, say, Taxi Driver or something fantastical like Teen Titans. And no, Teen Titans Go is absolute garbage. And I know people out there going, but that's in a different catalog. I know, but it's an example. You know, there's a difference between being mature and adult, and to be honest with you, adults want to have fun too. They want to have fun, but we don't want to be patronized. We don't want to be, playing dumbed down to. It's like, nowadays you get these creatives, and I mean it too, these creatives who don't know anything about telling mature stories, even if it's like for kids. Batman the Animated Series was never meant for adults, but yet as an adult you can watch it and be treated with respect. You're telling me in a mature story, but keeping it in the realm of for a realm of maturity in kids, but you're telling it in a mature way. Hey, let's talk about racism. I've seen many shows talk about racism. Static Shock comes to mind. Richie's Dad. Teen Titans yet again. Starfire and that one dude who looks like Captain Atom. School shootings. School shootings and bullying. Static Shock did that mature. That's what maturity is about. When it's, when we take a look at our world, we step back and be like, when we look at a subject and be like, okay, well, let's sugarcoat this to a degree, and look at this. And it pretty much is what's wrong with our culture. I mean, people get black-pilled about entertainment, look at Barbieheimer. It's funny enough that people are getting tired of just these childish things getting put into movies for adults. I'm honestly I'm against that too, but here's the thing I really want to see. I want to see a mature telling of you can tell a story of anything. I don't care what it is, but please be mature about it. And honestly, all the adult stuff too, let's be honest, some of it gets pretentious anyways. Like, I've heard Oppenheimer doesn't really deserve its runtime of 3 hours, which honestly, like, come on. And plus, like, this back and forth between, like, artists and stuff like that. Like, again, with Martin Scorsese screaming about, well, not screaming, but criticizing Marvel for having too much CGI when his movie used CGI, The Irishman. But on top of that, I don't think, again, there's a lot of blackpilling in that, but honestly, it's, people are just swallowing so many black pills and not looking at really the white pills of everything. Like, yes, Disney is falling down. Good for them. You know why? Because they've been top dog for a while and somebody needs to take their spot. I'm glad this writer's strike is happening, and I'm glad those, I'm not talking about the really good writers. There's far and few between. I'm talking about those shitty blue-haired feminist writers. And people who keep hiring Anita Scorsese as a counselor. If you have Anita, I say take a look at her earlier works when she said, I don't play video games, I think video games are gross. Get her out of there. Get her to the fucking... Or see what other projects she's worked on and see what people are talking about that. We need to start getting rid of these, cultural Marxists. We need to throw them out, out into the cold. We need to get rid of them and not deal with them anymore. I mean, they have been destroying our art and culture for a while now, and these vandals of art and culture. I mean, if you watch any of, like, Victor von Doomcock, he's talked about this shit. He's talked about that many of times. And, these people don't care about, art and entertainment. And speaking about these adults who like Disney movies and stuff like that, Walt Disney took a lot of effort into making Snow White. Snow White, in my mind, is considered art. Pinocchio, same thing. Those earlier Disney movies, even the earlier Disney shorts, like, Disney was an artist, and those are for kids. It's like, when did these young conservatives become boomers? Like, seriously. Like, same thing with video games. It's always, it's childish, it's this and that. First of all, no, you don't know my culture. You don't know the art of that. You talk about being adult, but yet I've seen many of the adult things, and some of it gets very pretentious and up your own ass because you want to be treated as adults. And honestly, we all do. And that's the problem with what's going on recently. We don't have any entertainers anymore that appease to adults who know how to not really restrict themselves, but know how to restrain themselves from not going too far. Like Ren and Stimpy's a great example of that. When it was on Nickelodeon, you could watch that as a child and an adult. You can understand the jokes back then and now differently, but you can still appreciate the art form and what John Kay was making. Yes, is he a piece of shit? Of course. But is he a good artist? Yeah. Now, take a look at like I was watching recently like an episode of Pete and Pete. A show made for young adults, for young teenagers and adults. Young adults. That show, and I'm talking about like young teenagers and teenagers. And that show in itself is brilliantly well done because, yes, it bordered on being surreal but yet mature at the same time. Focusing on things that mattered to kids, but also just kind of saying, screw it, we're on Nickelodeon. And yes, I'm trying my best not to swear because the left loves to swear so much. And these cultural Marxists think swearing is, brilliant and adult. No, that's just not mature. It's adult. There's a difference. And I do think we still have a counterculture, and yes, it's from the right, but I think it's more of I think it's more of these people who just don't care about politics anymore. That to me is like my problem with like the counterculture now. We do have a counterculture, but it is mostly what people think of it as, oh, it's the old culture. No, it's the counterculture now is more conservative, classic liberal, family oriented, the family nucleus, common sense, small government. Nowadays, what people think the counterculture was back then is now the culture. And honestly, that's, YouTube still is the culture, but a lot of these voices are not heard. I mean, hell, take a look at Razorfist, take a look at Midnight's Edge, take a look at Paul Chanto, Doomcock, a lot of, weaponized nerd rage, and take a look at everybody who's, making independent gaming. I mean, I've seen some good independent games come out, and they're pretty damn good. Hell, I want to get a PC just to play these indie games. And I want to get into the indie scene too. And, to be honest with you, we have a culture coming up from the comic and, book guys. We're getting into the Bronze Age of the counterculture, the Bronze Age of writing. Everybody needs to jump on board the Bronze Age of, the Bronze Age of the culture now, of creativity. I'm not just talking about books and video games. By the way, if somehow or another Razorfist is watching, I know he's probably not, I will read your books, and I will also review them. So, but it's just something I'm getting tired of very recently, of this people giving up and AI and all this shit. I'm sorry, but I look at some of the AI art and it doesn't look that special. Some of it looks decent, but I'd rather get my art from an absolute, real artist. Not these people who fucking type something in and then boom, they get it done. No, I like somebody's style and I like how they draw. And I have many of these on DeviantArt as well. But my thing about this too, and again, you gotta remember, is that a lot of people have been black pilled for a good long time, and I'm gonna be honest with you, let's not take any more black pills and take some more white pills. And look, here's the thing. I don't care if I'm being told a story for adults that's mature or something that's for kids that's mature. I just want a good story. I just want something entertaining that's not woke, propaganda, that's not shoving an agenda down my throat of whatever you want, of feminism, the matriarchy, climate change, racism, and every other fucking thing the left's talking points are talking about. I just want good stories. Hell, the most recent movie one of the best movies I watched, and yes, it was for kids, the Mario Brothers movie. Did I get entertained and enjoy it? Yes, because it wasn't shoving an agenda down my throat. That's why I love that movie. And I know people out there don't love it and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. But whatever, man, whatever. I'm trying to embrace... You talk about embracing the future, but yet there's also a lot of stupid shit out there. Stop making bad things and then I'll embrace the future. Stop making woke bullshit. And don't jangle the keys of nostalgia in my face either as well, because I know you distorted that, what it was before and versus now. Every character's either divorced, is a loner, down on his luck, deadbeat. Every white person is an evil person, and which, by the way, it's no longer white versus black anymore. It's Latino versus black, via being Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and Into the Spider-Verse. Yeah, Miguel is in. Correct me if I'm wrong. If Miguel is the bad guy in that movie, correct me if I'm wrong. If it's just a Spanish man going after a black man or a black kid. I'm just tired of this race war bullshit too, as well. But I'm getting ahead of myself. All I'm asking is just decent storytelling nowadays. I don't care if our main lead is a female. I don't care if our main lead is black. I don't care if our main lead is any other race besides white, or is white, or is old, or some other. Just tell a decent story, my people. Like, that's all I'm asking. It's all about art, telling good art. I don't care if it's old or new. Just gotta give me something good, man. Don't be afraid to do something crazy. And don't listen to these blue-haired, fat, blubbery, Anita Scorsese looking, because I don't want to say anything that mean, but, ugly-looking bitches trying to distort everything. These cunts who think they're fucking special, but not really. They're not really special. They just want to destroy the culture because they don't feel empowered, because they refuse to change. I'm trying to change myself. I'm trying to be creative. I'm trying to make art. But now, people need to just step up their game. That's all I'm going to say. And to those who are in the Iron Age, yes, create. Support other creators. Get those creatives, get those creative juices flowing. And to quote David Bowie, I don't care if you're sad or happy. I don't care if you're healthy or unwell. I don't care what you're doing. Create. You will become better if you create. This is what I'm doing now. Alright, I think I've spoke long enough. See you guys in the next video. Take care. Love you. Bye-bye. And remember to stay positive, alright? Peace be with you.